Today is just talk a little bit about how to do japa properly and how to do meditation. And of course this will be not just for the people here, but this of course will become a video and will be seen by many people throughout the world. And what I want to do is describe precisely what is the proper practice of japa meditation, how precisely it's done, in the most simple of ways. Most people here know this, but again, for those who don't, hopefully this will be educational. First of all, again, dealing with the beads. Beads are not necessary. For people who have beads, that's fine, that's good. You know, it's not offensive to have beads in any way, previous to initiation. But previous to initiation, you don't use beads. You know, rather what you do is you just say the mantra and you focus on the mantra just with a very relaxed hand posture. Dhyana Mudra, a variation of Dhyana Mudra, is the best sort of posture, mudra, that a person can have as far as placing the hands. There's this, of course, the chin mudra, which I don't find comfortable at all. I don't find this very comfortable. If you're going to have your arms like this for a long period of time, meaning like an hour, you know, that can get to be a little tiring. The reason why chin mudra exists, this specific mudra, is very technical. Very specifically, the pointer finger is considered to be energetically a very powerful finger. In Ayurveda, this is true throughout all of Sanatana Dharma, this is true in Buddhism, this is true in the martial arts as well. This is an aggressive finger. You use this finger to point at people, you use this finger also with certain mudras to signal quite literally aggression. And I won't do this toward anyone, but for anyone who studied martial arts, you've seen this kind of a mudra. It means you're about to attack someone. You know, you'll even see Tibetan Buddhist deities, fierce deities, who will look like this. And again, it's because this is a fierce finger. Energy literally shoots out of this finger. Okay? When a powerful yogi wants to place a curse on someone, they'll point at them with this finger. You never want a yogi to point at you with a finger like this. You know. So, in order to essentially create a closed circuit, this is why in meditation people will do this. It's that simple. That's why you'll see people like this in meditation. They're closing the circuit such that rather than the energy escaping, it's now coming back within the person. Okay? However, again, personally I don't use the chin mudra. I don't recommend to others that they do. Rather, I recommend what is actually called Dhyana Mudra, what you see the Buddha doing and many yogis, very simply. And there are two variations, either with the thumbs like this, which is what I recommend, again, because of the closed circuit. And in some cases, it's a little bit more relaxed. You know, either is fine. Either is fine. So, of course, in meditation, it's important to be seated in a proper way. And what this means is, again, looking like a mountain, as I said previously. So in other words, some variation of either Padma Asana or Ardha Padma Asana, which is what I'm in, half lotus. This is called Ardha Padma Asana, with you know, one foot, and it can be either foot, on the opposite lap. Okay? If you can't do this, don't worry about it. See, the important thing with mantra meditation and japa mala is that really there are no hard and fast rules. If one focuses on the names of God, even while driving a car, it's beneficial. In any way, it's beneficial. We're just talking about how to derive maximum benefit, you know, in the meditative experience. Okay? The important thing is that while seated, however you're seated, that you have a straight back. That, again, for many energetic reasons, also keeps you from falling asleep, just very practically. And that you be comfortable. So you always want to weigh these two things. On the one hand, have a straight back, try to sit erect, but at the same time, if it's uncomfortable, you know, then relax a little bit. Relax a little bit. Because why? What do I always say? If you're not comfortable, you're not focusing on the meditation. You're focusing on the pain in your back. You see, you're focusing on body, not on spirit. So be comfortable. All right? The way that we do Japa Mala Dhyana, Japa Mala meditation, very simply is first we want to still the mind, then we want to awaken the self. Okay? In that order. How do we still the mind? The best way to still the mind, the most practical way, is just breath concentration. That's why we always begin meditation first by closing our eyes and focusing on the breath. Just allowing the body to relax, allowing the mind literally to become still, which is of course the more difficult part. But of course, as I always explain to people, the reason why we have to start with this is because to merely still oneself, to merely have peace within, to not have physical agitation, to have a mind that's calm, that's just the beginning of meditation. That's not the end goal of meditation. So we begin meditation by first stilling ourselves, and then we jump into the second part, which is transcendence. You see. And then conversely, can we transcend if we're too aware of our body and mind? We can't. So this is why. First, we do a minute, 2 minutes, however long is necessary. Again, there are no hard and fast rules. Even 5 minutes of first focusing on the breath, allowing the body to relax, allowing the mind to just become very calm. And then, after that, we begin to do the mantra meditation out loud. And of course, initially, you do want to do it out loud. In time, it comes to the point where the sound becomes lower and lower and lower until finally you're doing it in your mind. Let me be honest with you. I've done this. I was initiated into this mantra when I was about 15. Starting at 16, I began saying it in my mind, and I have never said it any other way since. So every time I do the mantra meditation, it's in complete silence. Externally, internally, the mantra is there. The mantra is there. But that's the ultimate goal. But for now, we'll say it out loud. After saying the mantra for a period of time, and again, if a person is initiated, that's why we have the beads, to keep track. People will have a vow to say a certain number of mantras. And hopefully a few of the initiated people brought their beads. I know I'm kind of springing this on you, but don't worry if you haven't. Of course, very simply, with each bead, you say one mantra. And you never touch your beads with this finger. And now we understand why. Okay? Rather, you use these fingers, the middle finger and the thumb. If it touches once in a while, it's okay. But you want to try to avoid. Again, this is not the sort of path where we have to worry, oh my God, what did I do? I'm going to go to hell now. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, I pointed my finger at someone. Oh no. It's not the sort of thing where we should worry about these things. Rather, we should be conscious about them. You see? Yep, exactly. It's about intention. Yeah. We mustn't use the rules and regulations, and there are rules and regulations of spirituality. They're there for a reason. But they mustn't be a source of anxiety. Rather, they are there to keep us aware and conscious that what we're doing is important. What we're doing is sacred. What we're doing is not just something there to feed our ego, but is something there to help us to surrender. You see, when there are rules and regulations, that means you must surrender. And we are training ourselves to surrender. Why? Because in all of our material existence, we've wanted to do the opposite. So that's why rules and regulations exist in every real spiritual path on earth. Okay? So again, the way that we meditate with japa, and this is called japa mala. Mala simply means beads. Japa means repetition of mantra. You use these fingers, and out loud you just say the mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya, and you go to the next one. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, and like that. If you have a vow, then you use the beads to keep track of how many times you're saying. If you don't have a vow, if you're not initiated, then don't worry about it. You just say the mantra for as long as you can. There's no maximum. Is there a maximum to how much you can love? Is there a maximum to how much we can surrender to God? Is there a maximum to how wise we can be? How much we can cultivate service towards others? When it comes to spiritual things, there's no maximum. So if you can sit there for 3 hours and recite the names of Narayana, please do so. Most of us, of course, will have about 5 or 10 minutes. So, meditate on the mantra for like 5 or 10 minutes, however long you have. When you're done, we stop, and then again, we do the silent breath concentration. With the second silent breath concentration, it's not being done at that point to still ourselves, because at that point we should be still. Rather, with the second breath concentration, what we are doing is allowing the reverberation of the mantra to enter deeply within us. That's what we're doing. And if you do this well and with practice, you will feel the reverberation of the mantra even when you stop saying it. You literally will feel the vibration of the mantra. You will feel the vibration of the mantra as you're saying it. And you know that you have achieved something very, very significant when it comes to the point where even when you are saying the mantra meditation, more than hearing it, you're feeling it. And many of us here, I think, have probably experienced that already. It happens very quickly. That's how you know this is not something made up, that this is something that is real, because you quite literally begin to experience the name of God. All right, so with that, what I would like to do is all of us just practice some mantra meditation. Now the thing is, of course, we're all going to be saying it because we're individuals. We will all be saying the mantra, in some cases louder than others, in some cases a little bit lower. Some of us will be saying it louder, faster. Some of us will be saying it slower. Don't worry about that. What we're going to hear with a group of people here is just kind of a hum around us. That's all right. Focus on how you are saying the mantra. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't be embarrassed. Trust me, no reason to be embarrassed. We're all doing the same thing.
Is there a proper way for a beginner to understand how pranayama affects mantras?
Yes, this is why I tell people, especially in the early stages. Well, there are two things. There's breath and then there's pranayama. As far as pranayama itself is not done as a part of the meditation other than the breath concentration. Now, as far as breath itself, which is different from pranayama, pranayama is a conscious technique of breath. As far as breath itself, of course, as we're saying the mantra, we don't worry about the breath.
So it doesn't matter if you breathe back in through your mouth or your nose?
Yeah. I mean, again, we try to do everything maximally, but that doesn't mean perfectly. So in other words, we always want to try to breathe in through our nose, in and out through our nose. But as we're saying mantra meditation using the mouth, of course, that's a great difficulty. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, this is meditation in the most succinct of ways that can be explained. When you are meditating, nothing exists except that upon which you're meditating. So if you're even thinking about, something like that, oh, did I just breathe in through my mouth right now? Then that's not meditation. Nothing exists except what you are doing right then. Okay? All right. So we're going to practice this technique. Again, first breath concentration for about a minute. Then we're all going to recite the mantra in our own individual ways. We're not going to recite it together, okay, in unison. We'll do that for maybe 5 minutes or so. I'm going to do an entire round, so that'll be about 5 minutes or so. And then after that, again, just focusing on the breath, and then we'll end. All right? And again, if you did bring your beads, then feel free to use them. If you didn't, don't worry. It's all right. All right, and let's begin first with breathing. Stilling the mind and allowing the body to relax. Om Namo Narayana. 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 Om Namo Om Namo Narayana. 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 Jaya Shriman Narayana. Jaya Shri Gurudeva. Jaya Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Jaya Shriman Narayana. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, for some here, this may be our first time actually trying the actual technique of japa meditation, japa mantra. Others here, of course, I've done it for a very long time. This is the idea, is that our goal in life, spiritually speaking, is one in which we are always situated in transcendence. That's the goal. That's the goal. And while right now that transcendence, that transcendent realm, may sound like a foreign place to us, in actuality it's our home. You know? And it's by reciting the names of God like this, very specifically, that we have that ability to keep our consciousness in transcendence. So that's the idea. One thing that you may notice when you do japa like this, when you do it repetitively, is that in time, and you may not have experienced this now, and that's okay, don't worry, if you keep doing this, you will experience this. You'll experience many things, actually, but this one specific thing I wanted to mention. Of course, when we think of the mantra, the Om Namo Narayanaya, the Tiru mantra, we think of it as an individual unit of 3 words, Om Namo Narayanaya. What you will see when you do this correctly is that all the mantras that we say repetitively literally become one. You know, it comes to the point where the first mantra merges into the second, merges into the third, and it becomes one continuous circuit, one continuous sound vibration. And that's the idea. The idea is that, and this is getting a little metaphysical with mantra, but it's important, there is no limit to the name of God. There is no limit to mantra. So the limitations that we put with a beginning, 3 words, then an ending, that is how we experience mantra in the material realm. But in actuality, mantra, being the name of God, does the name of God have a limit? It's limitless. The name of God has existed previous to creation. It exists after the dissolution of reality. It's literally eternal. When we begin to meditate in the proper sort of way, we begin to experience this. We begin to quite literally experience eternality in meditation. And many people have reported this, actually, not just with this mantra, just in general. When we meditate, very often we will have quite literally a glimpse of eternity. We will feel several things. We will feel first, certainly as if this is something that we are familiar with, something that we knew previously. We begin to experience that with meditation. But more, we begin to also experience that I am literally touching the eternal. What I am doing now is something that is not limited by time or place or even word. And with this mantra very specifically, again, especially doing it in this way, this japa, repeating it and focusing on it and focusing on the vibration, and the vibration itself becoming one constant throughout the repetition, we begin to literally experience the infinite nature of the name of God. So mantra is an amazing thing. It's truly an amazing thing.